Hi, it's Alice and Elisa again with another clairvoyant reading for you. Today is April 12th, 2022.
We're going to look at the energy of inflation. And I think, we pick topics based on our observations in life and things that we discuss. And this is seems to be on the hot plate right now. It's affecting everyone. So we're really curious to see what's on the other side of inflation. And there's no better place than to ask spirit. So we're going to take a look at it. We're going to try to make this like we do weekly, 7 to 10 minutes, but it might be a little longer. Hopefully not. Be patient with us, though. If we have our eyes closed and we sit with a pause, there's information coming, and we'll probably have a lot to spill out if you're just patient with us. Okay, let's do this.
All right. So I'm seeing that a lot of things have a silver lining, and we don't see them at first. And Lisa and I were talking earlier about innovation, and innovation might be linked to the inflation, but we're going to look at that some more. Lisa, do you have anything?
I'm still looking. I was just following a thread, so hold on.
So sometimes when people have to tighten their belts, they get creative, and they realize that they maybe don't have to flush the toilet every time they go to the bathroom, or they end up saving things, like my grandmother during the Depression saved everything, and even when she lived in a big house up on a hill, she still saved everything.
It's funny that you were just saying that about saving things, because I literally was, when I said I was following a thread, I was following a thread. Whatever picture is showing up right now is an individual, and they're showing me like symbolism of collecting little pieces of rope and tying it together. Like, you know how in the Depression era people made those rubber band balls? Well, this is like, it looks like twine or little bits of ropes, like yarn or whatever, all tied together like in a little ball and fraying out like a flower. And I'm seeing that this person is really inspired by what this looks like, that it's almost exciting to collect and to create. So yes, in answering, we wanted to know for ourselves, is this inflation going to contribute to innovation? And I'm already getting the answer of yes. So like Alice was saying, within everything there's a silver lining. It just, everything is going to shift. We're in the in-between right now in many respects. And we're brewing, and it looks to me like this inflation is going to propel a ton of innovation, not only environmentally, but on a consumer level as well. As far as consumer products are concerned, for the home, for potential ways to save on different things, on resources, on environmental resources, on gardening, and on fuel and different ways of energy. We're right at the beginning of this. And this, like everything in life that happens, there's always a reason why we're going through it, even the most horrific. But I'm going to keep looking, Alice.
So what I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at this connection between the environment and design, and they've been separated up until now. So I'm looking at like people moving to San Francisco and gutting a house and rebuilding it, and that's how they're showing off design. Environmentally, is that really the best thing to do? No, not at all. So what I'm seeing is that this inflation is going to, in a way, help save the environment.
Correct. I'm getting the same pings. The same pings. It looks to me like the pictures I'm seeing, the status symbol is how you've upgraded your home to make it a more sustainable way to live, is going to be kind of like the new this is for lack of better ways of putting it, fashion. And this is going to start at the level of people who have a lot of money, and also people who do not have a lot of money. And what I see is like it's folks who don't have a lot of resources who are becoming the most clever, and this is spawning this new way of living. But then on the flip side, I don't know why I'm not seeing anything in the middle. Like, it's not a middle class thing. It looks like it's I can only read what I read. It's very working class, and it's very affluent in how I'm seeing this.
Me too.
You are too?
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's not just me. Yeah, and there's no middle. So maybe we'll get information on that later. But it looks like the artists, again, are going to really push the envelope with things that's going to help be a tipping point on how we live our lives. And it's the same also with the automobile industry right now. That all is going to, that we're getting forced into these into vehicles that are more sustainable, perhaps electric or hybrid, and it's going to push us into almost like space age rapidly, and there's going to be a need for economical vehicles that, again, this is not a middle class. This is really interesting that it's very working class and affluent. There's like this middle section that's missing. I don't know what this means, but it's very rapid innovation. Actually, everything is going to get pushed forward really fast. In just having late conversations, I always thought, okay, this is just a slow trickle thing, right? No, now that I'm looking at it, it's pretty rapid. We're going to go to space age looking very quickly. It looks like companies like Tesla and these other companies, these car companies that are coming out. I'm seeing just, I don't even know who they are, but there's other stuff coming out that's very space age. That's gonna, it's just such a giant contrast. So this is quite interesting, Alice.
Yeah, I'm seeing the two ends of the bookshelf.
Yeah.
The lower class and the upper class being where the innovation is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing like a Burning Man sensibility that at Burning Man you can only trade things, you can't sell. And I'm seeing information being traded and gathered, and there's this kind of community. But I see the people with the money very interested in collaborating, and I see the middle class is going to go along with it. Like, okay, this is the new thing.
Yeah.
The middle class is usually working so hard and raising families that it's hard to pay attention to those things. But so they're kind of waiting.
Right. They're careful. Uh-huh.
But I also see one thing I'm seeing innovation looking forward, but I'm also seeing innovation looking backwards, because like I'm looking at kind of the waste that has been going on. The consumption is got too out of control. Like one thing I'm looking at is, you know, how women have to have a new dress for every wedding they go to. They can't wear the same dress. Like that stuff's going to start going out the window. It's going to go back a little bit. Like those standards that kind of got a little bit too high are going to start coming back down again.
I'm still looking. I was just looking at something else. It's very fascinating. I wish I could even explain. I mean, right now I'm just kind of being a voyeur and looking at things. I wish I could take you into my mind's eye to see what I'm seeing. But it does look like every home is going to shift greatly from this as a result of this inflation. Everything is getting reimagined because we're getting forced to reimagine it. We have no choice but to move forward, and to move forward rapidly with change. And this has to do with saving the planet as well. It's not just saving on cost. There's a lot going on here. So there's a little bit of gratitude I'm seeing in this inflation. I mean, I'm not thrilled to go out and buy a $10 coffee or have every every sandwich costs $18. But I mean, there's something that's positive that's coming out of this, and that's why I like reading these reads, because sometimes it does, makes me feel better about life, seeing some of the things I see, or at least I'm prepared.
Well, one thing we're both looking at is our automobiles, and that's because the gasoline prices. So generally, if the gasoline prices go up, then people buy small cars. And then the gasoline prices go down, everyone buys big cars. But this one is going to make such a big difference that change is going to happen. Instead of just going back and forth with the big car, small car, big car, small car, it's going to shift. It's going to shift into new technology, new direction.
We're being forced to shift. This is not a shift that is, there's this other entity. The reason why things haven't shifted faster is there's a lot of people holding on to this. I see this again. It's a world that we don't understand. Is holding the reins on the continued manufacturing of gasoline vehicles, and now, due to our current circumstances, we're getting pushed in that direction. And yes, there's many automobile makers making cars that are more sustainable for our environment. But now this is really the push. And there's those entities that I see here that control, and they control everything, not just the automobile industries and the way we consume oil, it's everything. They can't hold this one back. This one is a runaway train, and this is the time that this is all gonna change. And whatever their intention is, or what will be shifted into another faction of our world, and whatever they're brewing on at that moment, whether it be arms or other kind of commodities, I don't know. But this is gonna, now the floodgate's gonna open, and it mostly on the vehicles. But the consumer product stuff for the homes and things like that, we're gonna see a lot of interesting things. There's already interesting things out there, but people aren't consuming them, and they will be consumed now. And I'm also I peeked in on college campuses. And these kids that are in college right now, they are going to be pumping out some really, really fantastic, useful things for our world. This is going to be the main focus, particularly in engineering programs. But it's like crossing over disciplines is what I see. A lot of collaboration here through different departments, like we've never seen before. It looks like the school campuses are going to start shifting. And this is all due to inflation. We're looking at this is due to inflation.
Yeah, I'm seeing that, when people get comfortable, they're not forced into any kind of change. Like, why would you want to change if you're comfortable? So there's this discomfort, and people generally don't like change. It's uncomfortable. But this discomfort is going to cause change, and people are going to be open for the change because of the discomfort.
It's interesting too. We can talk about this for hours, but I want to just we should close it out soon. But I was seeing how, Alice, you mentioned how there's going to be we're circling to the like back. I see that there's the picture I was seeing is an older people involved with younger people, whether this be student to teacher or whatever it is. I see that there's the ideas of the past brought with massive innovation. And again, this has to do with the way we just simply live in our homes and in our communities is going to be brought back to a place of that we haven't seen in a very, very, very long time, but brought with high technology. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting.
Yeah, I keep getting depression and the future, like the 1930s and the future. There's some sort of weird connection there.
Yeah, it's interesting. So again, we could talk for hours, but I'd say that I think we hit enough. Alice, what do you think? Do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, I'm going to open my eyes. Alrighty. Well, thank you for being with us. Stay tuned. We'll try to do something every week.
See you next time.